at harm. I am Supergirl.
Hey guys, just finished watching Supergirl, Season 3, Episode 10, Legion of Superheroes. This episode was interesting. I mean, it wasn't, for the title, it sounds like super interesting to see that, and it wasn't really, it was a good episode, it was a fun episode and stuff, but for the Legion of Superheroes title and stuff, it doesn't really feel like it deserves that name, because you only have 3 people and stuff from the Legion of Superheroes, and then, I don't know, they didn't really seem like the Legion of Superheroes to me, just because they didn't really do much in the episode till the end of the episode. So, I don't know, I just would have liked to have seen if they were going to use this title Legion of Superheroes as if they had brought, if Kara goes to the future, or if we go to the future with Mon-El, at what point, to 31st century. I think that would be a good time to call it Legion of Superheroes and see things like that and from their perspective and really get the Legion of Superheroes. So, it was cool having them there, and I guess you can say they were here because there was 3 of them there. I can imagine that there's more than just 3 people in the Legion of Superheroes in the 31st century, so I think would have been fun to see more of those and see more of that. I also would have loved to have seen these Mon-El's costumes, Stargirl's costume, Brainiac. Have the costumes be way more comic accurate and stuff, because these leather costumes that they had right here were just kind of silly. I mean, the look on Brainiac 5, the way he looks and stuff, looks so stupid. It just was terrible. Everyone was like, it's just, I just don't like the look. The white hair makes no sense. Blue skin makes no sense. He's supposed to be green with yellow hair type of thing. So I don't know why they did that, and why they didn't just, go with the comic book accurate look. I mean, Mon-El's costume in the comics is not that complicated. It's not that, not that out there type of thing. It's not super crazy. It makes sense. It's just a, all red version of Superman's costume type of thing. So I would have loved to have seen that type of thing. There's a lot of photoshops out there of Mon-El in his classic costume and stuff that people have done since he's been on the show, and they look really good and stuff. Where compared to this thing just looks like some leather jacket he grabbed out of a a thrift store type of thing. So I would have liked to have seen something a little more different with that, maybe a little bit more color. If not, maybe this is the same look of the costume, but just put the colors or a version of the colors that they have in the comics. Maybe not as bright and colorful as they are in the comics. Maybe more of a hint. A tone of that color type thing, kind of like Green Arrow and Arrow there, Stephen Amell and Arrow. It's not all super green and stuff, but it's still a bit of a dark green he has for his stuff to be called the Green Arrow. So I think I would have liked to see they go that way with the costumes for these Legion of Superheroes, but we'll have to wait and see if we get more accurate costumes later on or something like that. I think it's going to be fun to see different things and stuff. So all in all, this episode was okay. A list of things here to talk about and stuff. Let's do them. We have the Supergirl in a coma and stuff. That was cool, but nothing really I didn't feel like she learned anything from being in the coma, or there was even a reason to have her in a coma. It's just, let's keep her out of this episode, and just keep her in her mind. There was no hidden meaning to any of it, so it just kind of was like, okay, what's the point of why put her in this coma type of thing? I mean, we had the episode, was it season 1, when she was when she had the wraith, or the girl who has everything type thing, man who has everything storyline from I think that was I forget his name, but the Watchmen writer. He's the one who wrote that story originally in the comic books, and they did that for Supergirl. And so yeah, this one was just kind of like, okay, it would have been interesting to see if she had gone on to Krypton, and her mind was in Krypton, and then she had to go there, and that was part of her, having to embrace she had completely ignored her side of Kara, and fully embraced their alien inside, just like the last words that her sister had said. I think that would have made more sense to that, and we could have Brainiac on Krypton. We could have had her mother here, played by Smallville, Lois Lane there, Erica Durant. That would have been really cool having her. They could actually have full-on conversations and things like that. It could have been Brainiac versus her mother, or this version of her mother in her head, played by Erica Durant. I think that could have been really cool to see that, and see how things could have gone with that, and making her embrace her humanity side throughout this, whereas here she was her humanity side the whole time, and it was just to embrace it. That's it. It didn't really seem like there was a reason to do that, and it didn't really have much of an impact as it would have if they had been on Krypton the whole time, and then the whole point is to her to embrace her humanity type thing. So I think that would have been the way I would have done it. And then there was the talk about that mon-el mentioned a bit about the Blade character. Sounded like someone who kind of like Galactus, who goes around and eats planets type thing. So that was going to be interesting to see if he comes around. Maybe he could be a villain at some point. We'll have to wait and see, but it doesn't sound like it, because it sounds like like you said, only 1,000 years ago does this happen and stuff. So it's really going to be interesting to see where things go with that and how they play with timelines and stuff. Like at what point does in their timeline in 2000, 3000, the 31st century, Supergirl alive, still in there, Superman's still alive. What point do they start perishing, start to die and stuff? And do they age like regular people now that they're on Earth type thing? How does that work? Do they play with that? And where do we see things go from that? And how do they perish? Does Superman die of old age? Does Kara die of old age? Or do they get weaker and not be able to fight? Or I don't think it's really going to be cool to see how we play with that as we deal with the Legion of Superheroes. So I'd like to see more dealing with the time travel stuff, and they try to get around with it by saying that their history is gone, and that's why they can't help with knowing the future and all that stuff. But I just think that it would have been interesting to see whereas they didn't know that Supergirl will make it, she lives to this. Does that mean they know when she's going to die type thing? Do they know that? It seems like something that people would, there should be certain things about history that, whether the records are gone, they should remember it, At least people like Brainiac and Stargirl should be able to remember it. The key moments, like when Supergirl dies, when Superman dies, things like that. As Doomsday, do they know about Doomsday? Do they know about future villains and stuff? That's going to be cool to see how that goes and playing with that. I think that'll be fun. And I'd love to see them go to the 31st century and see Kara, visit them to get something or something like that, even if it's just for a little bit. I'd love to see different characters. I'd love to see characters like Arm Fall Off Boy. I think he's just so silly. I think it'd be hilarious to see him on here, even if it was just a cameo. Supergirl shakes his hand and his arm falls off type thing. Just a cameo. I think that would be perfect for Arm Fall Off Boy would be perfect. And then seeing Bouncy Boy, I think it'd be fun to see him for an episode. And I think it could be interesting to see those two characters. I'd like to see more Legion characters, maybe as they have to go into the future or something. I think that could be fun, and I definitely think it would be fun to see, like I said, Arm Fall Off Boy could be really interesting to see, and I think it'd be a really good a really good challenge, I guess, to the writers to try and make him interesting, make Arm Fall Off Boy useful, and find a way for him to kind of do something in an episode type thing. I think that could be fun if they do that, or if he comes back in time or something. We'll have to wait and see how that works. And I think it'd also be cool. We need to explain the Superman has a Legion ring over in the Fortress of Solitude. We saw that in the first episode, in the first season. We saw that we even saw that in Flash early on in season 2, or season 1 or season 2. So it just would be fun to see, what is that? Has Superman already gone to the future? How is that going to play out with that part there and that ring that he has in the Fortress of Solitude? So that was really cool there with that. And then it would be cool, another point was just that John plays Kara again and stuff, and pretends to be Kara for Lena Luthor and stuff. That's really funny, the way they did that, and how things went on with that. I think I always like whenever they do that and they have John Jones playing Kara, so that they have Melissa Benoist playing John Jones and stuff, and I love the way they did that, especially this time when he can change his voice and stuff to sound like anyone, and he sounded like himself and all that. That was quite cool, the way they did that, and the way he rocks and stuff. I think it was really good, and the way Melissa Benoist really has it down, pretending to be John Jones and stuff. So it really is cool to see that. I'd like to see more of that here and there. It really is fun with that part. And then there's the part where they staged the robbery to try and catch Rain, and that completely failed because the kryptonite wasn't enough or anything like that. Surprised they're not calling Superman or anything like that to help with something. I think it would have been fun to see that. Isn't he watching it on there? It would be cool to see what is he doing, updates on him. Even if we just see some footage from far away, like a cell phone footage on YouTube type thing of Superman fighting this or that type thing. I think that would be cool, seeing him within the episode to say, oh, he's busy, but because he's fighting someone else over here. And you don't have to actually have Tyler Oakley come on set. Just have us like a CGI version on a screen, on a computer screen, if someone's watching, or even on their phone. Like, oh yeah, Superman just fighting this guy today. I guess Superman's out of commission, for that. And then I think that would have been interesting to see that, and then you could see him fighting different characters like maybe Doomsday. Doomsday, I guess they'd want to save that for the show, but maybe some other big villain you could have, just have it, just do them on like a small screen. Someone's watching it on their phone, someone's watching it on their computer type thing, and you don't have to have it full screen. I think that could be cool to see that with Superman to kind of get the idea of, oh, he's busy right now, he's doing this, when Kara's, the few times when Kara's out of commission like this. So that was really cool with that. And Rain attacking the prison was kind of interesting. And then she ends up getting Thomas Corville starts worshiping Rain and stuff, which was interesting with the prison attack, which I don't understand why she was even going inside the prison. I was just like, why not just fly above it and just heat vision the whole thing and just light it all on fire with your heat vision. I don't see why she even had to go into the prison. It would have been she would have made more of an impact if she just flew over the whole thing, melted it all down with her heat vision, and then move on to the next prison, melt it all down, type thing, and do all that. I think that would be quite interesting to see that. And also, I think that would actually bring the crime rate down, because people would not want to get into prison and risk getting killed by, Rain. So I think that would have been, it would just make it full circle. It would be beneficial in my opinion, but whatever. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that and how Rain continues on. It's really going to be fun to see what other people come out as, who else is going to be part of the Rain type thing, a member of the Rain, whatever race she is from. It seems like she's Kryptonian, but not exactly. Maybe I guess we'll see what type of version of Kryptonian she is. It's really gonna be fun to see that. So hopefully we'll see where things go with this for the rest of the season. If they're trying to do another thing of evil Kryptonians, it's just gonna be Kryptonians and her Kara's aunt and stuff like that, and Astra and what's his name, Non and all that, and Non and all that. So really going to be fun to see where things go with this. Hopefully they don't, like I said, don't retread that. But we'll have to wait and see how they do it and how they keep it different and fresh, and how maybe soon Kara will start figuring out or start seeing these connections, or maybe her daughter will see, that what's her face, her mother type thing is Rain, Samantha Ares is Rain type thing. That's going to be fun to see how that goes. And is Ruby going to become a Rain type thing? That could be cool, seeing her fly around doing that. I think it's really going to be interesting to see that, and it'll be a lot more. I think it's a lot more fun when you have the kids as that, and it's a lot more. Kara doesn't want to hurt her and all that stuff, even whether or not she recognizes Ruby or not. I think that could be cool to see Ruby become a Rain too. If she has the DNA for it, we'll see. But yeah, it's really going to be fun to see where things go for the rest, and really can't wait to see next week's episode. Looks kind of interesting with the trailers. It looks like they get what's her face there, Livewire is coming out to help, and another girl from this season, the Fear Girl, who implants the fear into people. That's going to be fun to see her. I don't know why they chose her to let her out of all people. I feel like there's other people that the DEO should have locked up that are maybe have more better powers to help with that. I mean, if it's that desperate, why not just zip over to the Earth One and get Barry, or get someone from those guys from the other Earth type thing. Get Barry, get Wally West, or someone like that. I don't know. Would be fun just to get someone from there. It seems like if you're going to go last resort, I'd rather trust the other superheroes from a different dimension than the criminals, So we'll have to wait and see. Maybe there's some sort of motivation to help them, if Rain is threatening the world and stuff, but that doesn't really seem like so much, doesn't seem like anything that's really going to affect Livewire or this other girl, I forget her name, and why they would really want to help. What is their benefit type thing, or unless they're being forced to help with some sort of colors or something like that by the DEO. We'll wait and see how that turns out. So it's really going to be fun to see where that goes and how things turn out with that in next week's episode. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below about Supergirl Season 3, Episode 10, Legion of Superheroes, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.